Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm Dan Goodstein, and welcome to the Executive Interview Series. I'm joined today by Maor Revah. He
Hello,
is an
hello,
advanced
everyone.
automation expert at NICE RPA. Hey, Maor, how are you?
I am good. I am good. I have to say that I'm very excited. As you can see here in my new setup, I'm back here in the office, working from the nice headquarters here in New York, and very excited to join you today as we are running this series.
It's very old school of you to be in a physical office these days, Maor.
That's what I've been told. That's what I've been told.
So listen, excited to speak to you. You're a longtime friend and contributor for RPA AI, as is the whole NICE team. But I think it's a really interesting time for customer experience, Mayor. It's my observation that especially in the last couple of years since the pandemic, customers are becoming more and more demanding and expecting better service quicker. I think brand loyalty is kind of under attack, and the contact center and customer service industry is having huge turnover issues right now more than ever. So I guess my first question is, what's being done in companies that maybe that you're working with to really improve the customer experience?
It's a really good starting point for our discussion, and you'll see that a lot has changed also with the all of the new normal that we have, because in all of the discussions we already understand that we are already way beyond all of the wave on the pandemic, and we are trying to see how different optimization points or how we can look at the organizations from different angles. In the past, we'd see a lot of the interactions trying to constantly optimize specific business processes. We know in the world of RPA, we always looked on capabilities and how specifically we can automate them. In the world of customer service, while the previous question was just how to optimize these specific processes, we see a lot of the digital channels being adopted by the organizations, meaning that today, while we were asking in the past if we have a certain call, how we can optimize it, how we can make it potentially shorter, the new normal today is how we can potentially eliminate that certain call. So when we have the engagement going into a certain contact center, we're trying to really see what is the patterns, what are the different key and call types and call reasons that we have coming into the contact center, and ideally to outsource those to a digital channel, ideally with voice bots, with chat bots. And we see a lot of new different trends happening as more organizations are adopting this unique new, I want to say, self-service channels. Now, as organizations are kind of trying to take that, always customer experience is the number one in mind. And we're trying to see that with these changes in technologies, organizations are now putting them in different categories. So, for example, as I mentioned, the first one, going to digital and self-service. After that, how do we really empower agents as we need to get to that point where we elevate it and we bring it to an actual live conversation, which by the way, today, more than ever, it's not through only a phone call. We see a lot of email engagements, a lot of social media channels that are now coming into play, and a lot of chat channels that are being elevated to agents because of the adoption of digital. As we are seeing that, we have to make sure that we equip the agents and we are doing a lot of things to empower them. But then at the end of the day, we are trying to always learn from that. So to kind of close the loop here, the complete performance of agents, this is where we are trying to see how we constantly improve that. So we have the entire visibility from start to end. We want to know the interaction as it starts, either self-serve or digital, all the way to its end. And in this way, you are able to impact with different technologies. So no longer working in siloed approach, looking at it from a broader perspective. That's kind of where a lot of the enterprises are investing right now.
Yeah, makes sense. And so what about the companies? How do the companies make agents happier and want to actually stick around?
So you'll see, actually, before we'll go even to that topic, an interesting change that has happened. So agents in the past, I remember back in the days, you and I are in the industry for quite a while. We would get phone calls such as change my address. People would literally call in order to change their address or to do minor different changes to their accounts. With time, a lot of these business processes has changed. And today, most likely the people would not just call in order to have their address changed. Those are the kind of things, or let's call them the simple things. They were outsourced into the chatbot channel, into the self-service and digital channels. A natural change that happened in the contact center was that the nature of the business processes that in the past was kind of hybrid. It was simple processes combined with complex ones. Slowly with time, as simple is now going away, the processes were more complex. So to touch upon the question, how do you make agents happier? We need first to understand the fact that they are dealing with a more difficult work environment. The routines, the processes are way more complex because when a call is now being elevated into the contact center, it is no longer to just change your address. So most likely the customer explored already different channels. If we got to a position where we need to have an actual call, not necessarily always that our sentiment is at the highest point. We are calling because we are frustrated as we are facing an issue, or the starting point for us potentially would already be a negative starting point, which that is something that directly impacts the engagement with the agents. So now when I go on how do I make agents happier, it's with the understanding that the small and simple stuff will be handled self-serve, and we have potentially a frustrated or an angry customer calling in, we need to make sure we equip them with all of the data, the knowledge that they need to make the systems and their architecture as simple as it gets. So we will do what we do best as humans. We'll be focused on the conversational part, on the call itself, and not just the data. You'll be amazed seeing that desktop environments, they have 10 applications, 20 applications. Agents are constantly running and navigating in between these apps, but constantly imagine that they're listening to someone and his frustration or her frustration in order to help them at the end of the day. But how can really you can help a person by half listening to him, half at the same time working on your application? It's a very stressful and complex environment. So to specifically go on how you make agents happier, simplify the process for them. Look at each and every business process. Try to see how you can make the applications talk more to each other, how you can unify information, consolidate it, how you can bring data to the agents in real time while making sure you're coaching them, while making sure that always everything is at the tip of, at the fingertips, that you can just, with one click of a button, you can get the right data that you need. So you will focus primarily on just talking. How many calls, Dan, if I would ask you that you called for any kind of a customer service area that an agent told you one time, Dan, let me just quickly put you on hold. How many times did it happen?
Yeah.
All
Huge.
of these moments when agents are actually putting us on hold, those are the exact moments when they need a second to just focus their minds on the computer and try to analyze, learn, calculate, do all of the different activities in order to eventually provide you the answer that you're looking for. So what if we'll change it into a new world that we would equip the agents to have that data ready for them, and the key point, having that ready for them in real time. When you have that, they would less and less have the need to put the customer on hold. The sentiment of the customer would already go up and the conversation would be way more positive in its nature. And we would do, as I said, what we do best, talk to each other.
So do you see self-service channels really as the primary, answer? And if that's the case, then, to your point, the interactions that actually get to a person become escalations or more complicated, interactions. What I've said is more of a concierge kind of service versus just a typical call center. How are you guys kind of equipping agents to deal with that?
It is a true fact. You see that on one side, when you look at the self-service channels, it is a true statement that answers a lot of the needs from the contact center as well. In a lot of the contact centers, I would take it even a step back. They don't necessarily know what are these simple type of engagements. So when you start adopting self-service solutions, it all starts with the analytics of it. You learn and you identify what are the key call types that we are managing, what is the volume of these call types, and then with time we see that self-service can answer a lot of these. But as technology is evolving, I cannot tell you that self-service is the answer to all questions right now. Maybe the technology, as we know, there are a lot of different types. We were talking chat GPT, we're talking about a lot of different AI-based solutions. It will get there at a certain point, but now the capabilities of the technology is to handle things that are of potentially lower complexity. So self-service would definitely be the right way to go, and to take off the contact center the load of all of the stuff that are more data point, gathering data, understanding your accounts. We see in banking, for example, getting my account balance. We see with rental cars, do I just want to change my return date or my return location? Things that are very simple that can be handled in these channels. And you're right that now the new contact center become like more of a premier concierge, because you're saying, My situation is a little bit more complex. I need to talk to someone because I really have issue with my booking, which is not as simple as just changing my date. I need to change my date, but I want to also change my type of car because I'm facing an issue. And also I want to do it within a different state than the one I rented. That is not something that you can just handle in a simple manner in a self-service channel. So when you get to an agent, you want to make sure that the data first is being transferred, that it's a warm transfer. It creates a lot of frustration when organizations just have something happening at the back end, but it's not linked to the conversation. You want that it will be a warm transfer. So I would say, hey, Dan, thank you for calling me today. I see that you tried to do X. How can I help you today? So this is type of assisted solutions, an AI-based solution that can help the agents first getting a warm transfer, second, guiding you through the process and managing that we keep automation in mind throughout the process. So then eventually I will be able to be that luxury concierge service to you to handle your unique situation. So yes, self-service, definitely it's the answer to take off of the load. So we will be able to increase the capacity. So agents can take more calls daily. At the end of the day, part of the goal is to also minimize the wait time when we are on the phone. So when we are waiting and I hear, oh my God, there is 1 hour now that I want to wait for an agent or need to, and I don't have even the callback option sometimes, these solutions will minimize that time. So you'll almost feel that when you're giving up the call, an agent is almost instantaneously answers and say, hey, Dan, I can help you today. And this is how can I help you? That changed the entire experience, both on the customer side, as well as the agents that are serving us at the end of the day. So that's kind of the direction we would take.
Maor, you mentioned the AI thing. Everybody is talking about generative AI right now, i.e., ChatGPT. How do you feel this is going to affect, or will it affect the contact center industry as we know it?
So let's speak about ChatGPT. Let's speak about the elephant in the room. A lot of organizations and everyone is now trying to think how we are leveraging that phenomenal technology. Part of the thing, us being a contact center provider, ChatGPT originally was trained on the World Wide Web. It knows everything that the internet had to offer. All of that knowledge was consumed into the AI engine. But now when you're going into contact center and you would ask specifically ChatGPT to give you things that are more vertical or domain expertise related items, such as what are the 5 key call types you have within the retail industry or within the retail banking industry that are handled by agents in the contact center, and how long it takes to do these kind of things, ChatGPT will not give you the answer because the data is not there. What we were doing at NICE with our tool, that one of our tools is called Enlighten Actions, we were able to take all of the vast knowledge that NICE has from contact centers and marry it together with ChatGPT. So now the knowledge is not only from the outside, is also based on this unique expertise we have in the company to bring you these unique data points. And with that, you create a real change because we have tons of analytic-based products that we are analyzing each and every interaction, either pre-call, during call, or post-call. We have all of these data points that now when you bring it to ChatGPT, that's what you create, where you create a real change in the market. And NICE is heavily investing down that path.
Yeah, exciting stuff. It's exciting times. The last question I wanted to ask you is about, so many people have historically looked at contact center as a cost center, right? Do you see any of these solutions ultimately, or even now, helping companies not just serve and retain clients and be a cost center, but actually become a channel for upsells and increasing revenue?
So it is an interesting point, as we will go back to how we made agents happier during their work environment. So when you look at the agents, and we are now saying, okay, we're using assisted technologies and AI-based technologies such as Agent Assist in order to help the agents with guidance, with automation, potentially automatically wrapping up the call. We all know that a lot of time is being invested in call summarization. So combining the voice skills, combining the desktop automation capabilities, combining the channels that can create an auto summarization for a call, bringing them all together, equipped also with knowledge, which is a critical part. How many time agents are just going into knowledge bases to try and find information? When we are taking all of these key streams, the voice stream, the desktop one, as well as the knowledge, you are significantly freeing up time from the conversation itself, making it more efficient. As we were doing that, that is where indeed we are now trying to impact on a change, not only focus on engagement and how they are shorter and more efficient, but now let's use the time to bring extra revenue. So as you're running through all of the different customer data points, robotic capability can calculate a lot of things from the customer set of informations. We have the CRM, we have other system of records. What we were doing as we were implementing these technologies, we let the robot run and analyze the customer account and constantly trying to find if in between the current customer state, there is a potential to onboard him into a new package, to offer him a new service based on a pattern we've seen based on the customer journey. With all of these different data points, we're able to offer kind of either promotions or are able to offer different packages. If we go to the insurance space, how we can onboard you to an extended insurance, or if we go to a mobile plan, instead of having your limited mobile plan, can we change it into an unlimited mobile plan? Or if we have now a new interest rate, as we know interest rates are spiking in the market, can we offer CDs to customers that we see that you already have a saving account with us? All of these different examples are things that the robot can calculate, and Niva in particular, the nice employee virtual assistant, can calculate as we go through the engagement. And now, because the engagement is shorter and we are meeting the SLAs or we are meeting the average handling times, we have time now to invest on articulating that information to the customers. So we are opening an entire new array of possibilities that it's not anymore just about the average handling time of the call. It's now, how do we bring upsell and cross-sell opportunities, because a robot can work in parallel to a human. And this is where we see the pilot and the co-pilot working together. And the co-pilot would say, here, this is the new opportunities. Let's go ahead and suggest those. And in this way, the impact of AI-based technologies, agent assist technologies, is far beyond just these old data point or KPIs we evaluated. Now, it's how do we also generate new revenue to the organization, growing as a business. And this is how we were truly able to adopt these solutions on a truly enterprise scale.
Yeah, I love those examples. I love the idea of customer care being, more proactive versus reactive, and obviously, nobody shies away from new revenue opportunities. So that's
Definitely
great.
that.
Before you jump, give us a little sense of what's happening at NICE and some of the solutions that are available if anybody watching wants to learn more.
So everyone that wants to learn more, we were talking a lot about today the way that we are helping agents. So at NICE, as you can see also here in the banner behind me, we're trying to bring the concept of people and robots together. So Niva, the NICE employee virtual assistant, is one of our key solutions that we are working side by side with agents. The concept around it is all agent assist. And we are combining at NICE the three key capabilities that are critical to your success. One is knowledge management, which is a product by NICE named Expert. So that's a part of this agent assist capability. The second one is our voice capabilities. NICE is interacting with the voice channel, capturing sentiment as well as keywords that are being spoken. The third one is the assistance physically on the desktop with the employee. We were marrying between all of these solutions to a one holistic agent assist solution we position in the market. So if you would like to learn more about how we do these things, to see more examples, query about Niva and how Niva can create that impact to your contact center.
Maor, thanks so much for joining us.
Dan, thank you for having me. Always a pleasure to work with you.
My pleasure. Take care, everybody.
Take care, everybody. Thank you for joining.